9 of the best business loans in 2023. I'm about to decode them all right now. Look, I don't care if you're looking for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for expansion, if you're just launching a business, if you have bad credit, if you had other things that have held you back, I am going to show you the 9 best options that can help you get funding in 2023. Look, I don't know what the obstacle that you faced in the past, but we're about to break down every one of them and get you money right now in this training. We got a lot to cover. Hold on to your hat. Let's go. So look, a lot of entrepreneurs think they can't get the money they need. They either want more money than they think lenders will give them, or they go to try to get financing and they've been turned down. They don't even try because they think they're a nonprofit or have credit issues or any other kind of risk factor that may prevent them from getting denied. But that's not the case at all. As of 2008, we've now seen this massive shift in business lending where we went from loans coming from big banks in the past to now coming from alternative lenders. And what that means now is it's easier than ever to get the financing you need if you know the right kind of financing that will work for you. So let's dive into the 9 best financing options for 2023 so we can figure out the best options for you to tap into other people's money to get the money you need to grow your business. Let's start with number 9. Number 9 is something called Merchant Cash Advance, also called MC. It's one of the fastest, easiest ways to get money to grow your business. So what a Merchant Cash Advance is a lender will lend you money just because you're accepting credit cards from your actual customers. Now, you only need to be in business about 6 months and have $5,000 a month in revenue. If you have that, there's a good chance you can get approved. You don't need collateral. They don't even really care about your personal credit quality either. All they care about is that you have regular and consistent credit card transactions coming into your business and that you're managing your bank account and your merchant account responsibly, that you don't have like a bunch of chargebacks or non-sufficient funds on your actual bank statements. If that's the case, great chance you can get approved, and you typically can get funded in 3 days or less with this program. So this is a great way to get money for your business, even if you have credit issues, and get it quick just because you have consistent revenue for 6 months or more. And that brings me to number 8 on my list, which is equipment financing. There's actually 3 types of money you need to know about in this category. The first is equipment financing. You can get it as a new business. You can get it if you have credit issues. Major pieces of equipment you may need to buy, you can actually get specialized financing to buy that thing. So now you don't need to go get a loan or a credit line to buy equipment. You can use equipment financing to get equipment and then get a loan or a credit line to maybe cover your first and last month's payment of that actual equipment financing. Now, if you've been in business 1 year or more and your credit's a little bit better, then you can actually qualify for equipment leasing. And if you or someone around you has a big piece of equipment that's owned free and clear, you can leverage that piece of equipment to be able to get financing as well through a program called Equipment Sale Leaseback. So if you need to buy equipment, want to lease equipment, or own equipment free and clear, tap into these 3 powerful ways to get money to grow your business. It's one of the best options for 2023 to be able to get funding. And that brings me to number 7 on the list, which is inventory financing. And wow, if there's any category of business funding that's going through massive expansion right now, it's this one. Because what's happening is you used to go from having regular inventory on shelves to seeing an explosion of e-commerce companies. More and more businesses are now selling products online. And that product, in order to be sold, you have to have an inventory established. So there's more and more ways you can now tap into inventory financing to either leverage against an inventory that you already have, to actually get a credit line against an inventory you already may have, or actually get the money you need to buy the inventory. There's even financing companies out there that within 2 hours will have you pre-approved to finance 100% of the cost of your inventory you're selling online. That's right. Look, if you're an e-commerce business selling products online, buying the products you sell is the biggest expense you have. Not anymore. You can now get financing. You need to buy all of your inventory, and then you can pay back the financing as you're selling the inventory. It makes it way easier to dominate and grow using this strategy. So make sure you tap into inventory financing to get the money you need to grow this year. And that brings me to number 6. Number 6 best type of financing for 2023 is something called AR, or account receivable financing, and I love this one. I love it for 2 main reasons. First of all, you can let your customers buy your expensive products or services on terms, meaning that you can let them pay over time. The actual lender will give you the majority of that money right away. You can let them pay, making it easier to attract more customers because they're paying over time, keeping payments low. You still get the majority of your money money right away. And in doing so, you're actually building an asset that helps you get even more financing. So now it's easier for customers to buy from you. You get the majority of their money right away. And this is the number one kind of asset that's typically used to qualify for financing, like SBA, for example. So not only can you make it easier for customers to pay and get your money right away, but now you're building an asset that helps your business become more valuable and helps you tap into even more types of financing through places like SBA as well. And that brings me to number 5 on my list, which is 401k and IRA financing. Well, 401k and IRA financing, you're basically tapping into a 401k IRA that you or a partner or maybe somebody else that wants to be a part of your business actually has. You can get as much as 100% of the value of the 401k and pay 0 tax penalties. So instead of investing into publicly owned companies like you do with a 401k, you're basically redirecting the money and investing into your business instead. It's a really powerful way to get money leveraging assets you already have, or maybe someone around you has that they want to actually be a contributor to your business. So 401k and IRA financing, a great way to get money in 2023. And that brings me to number 4 on my list, which is another great way to get money in 2023. It's called business revenue lending. With business revenue lending, it's very similar to MCA or merchant cash advance. The difference is, instead of just looking at credit card deposits, now we're looking at all money coming into your bank account. So with this kind of financing, we're going to look at cash, check, credit card deposits, all deposits into your bank account, and you can typically get as much as 10, 15%, or even more of the money advanced of what goes in there every single year. Plus, bad credit doesn't really matter. You don't need collateral, and you can get funding in 72 hours or less. Though there's a lot of lenders that will issue loans and credit lines with this kind of funding. So the only thing you really need is consistent revenue. And if you have that, well, congratulations, there's a great chance you can get approved. And that brings me to number 3 on my list, which is tapping into stocks and bonds to get securities-based financing. Now, this is a brilliant way to fund your business, because if you or someone around you has stocks and bonds, you get to still keep the stocks and bonds and earn a return off what's invested in the stock market already. None of that changes, but you're double leveraging that money, because now that money can be leveraged to actually fund your business as well. You can get loans or credit lines as low as 5%, leveraging you or somebody else's stocks and bonds. Credit doesn't matter. You don't need any kind of other asset as collateral. You don't even need to have any revenue verification to get approved. All you need is stocks and bonds from you or an individual, and you can typically get approved for as much as 90% of the value of those stocks and bonds. And that brings me to number 2 on my list, and it's not a loan product, it's an entire category of funding. It's called secured business financing. And with this, we're tapping into any asset that can be served up as collateral. So we've already talked about a few, like equipment and inventory. We've talked about stocks and bonds, but there's a lot of other kind of assets you may have that can be leveraged to be able to get financing as well. Some examples are insurance agents tap into their book of business. Real estate flippers are tapping into the property they're buying and using that as collateral to get 100% financing to buy and flip and fix fix and flip properties. You can also get the money leveraging commercial real estate, leveraging other kinds of residential real estate, leveraging vehicles. You get the idea. The bottom line is, if you have an asset worth money, that asset can be leveraged to get financing. Or if you want to buy an asset worth money, like a vehicle, you can get specialized financing to do that as well. With this kind of specialized financing, you're actually borrowing against assets you already have, or using money to buy the assets, so you don't have to leverage general loans and credit lines to be able to get approved. This is a powerful funding option, especially if you're stacking it with other funding options we've talked about already. And that brings me to number 1 on my list, my absolute favorite. It's called Credit Line Hybrid. And with Credit Line Hybrid, even as a new business, even with no cash flow, no revenue verification, you're able to secure as much as $150,000 in funding. It's no doc, so there's no income documents needed for approval. You can get it as a high-risk industry, even as a startup. Even if you've never qualified for funding before, you're able to get approved. All you need is a good FICO score of 700 or higher, and if you don't have that, you can even tap into the credit of somebody else, like a guarantor, in order to get approved. You can get 0% interest rates for up to 18 months, 150 grand in financing. I mentioned it's no doc, and you can even take the cash out at 0% as well. Really cool way to get money to grow your business in 2023. Whew, that's a lot of options. We went through 9 different ways to be able to fund your business. If you want access to even more and you want to get approved for any of these, there's 2 steps you want to take right now. First, check the link in this description and register for a 100% free finance assessment. On this finance assessment, we're going to tell you all the money you can qualify for right now. We're even going to help you fix some simple things to be able to get approved for even more money at better terms. Make sure you also check out the link in the description to this training and get access to our funding blueprint qualifier. That link will get you pre-approved for funding. You fill out a few simple details. Our team is on the phone with you typically within less than an hour, and we're talking to you about all the money you can get right now. Look, we work with over 1,000 different lenders and a lot more than just the 9 programs we talked about now. So make sure you check out our finance blueprint qualifier using the link in the description of this training to get approved for money right now. Now, if you got value from this training, like and subscribe, and keep your eye out for our next training where we talk about more cool ways to get the money you need to start and grow your business.